I've been putting off making this video for a while. So much procrastinating. 3 months ago, my life turned upside down and a lot has changed for me, for my life, and for this project. That's why it's been radio silence for a while. This is the first video I've shot since November 2023. And it's a video I never thought I'd be making, but here we are. That's life for you. One of the things I've learned from all of this is that you might think you know where you're going, where the road is leading. You might even feel like you're the one in control, like you're behind the wheel, or behind the bars in my case. But the reality is, on this road that we're all on, we can never really see so far ahead. And accepting that has led to a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting about what my plans were on this whole motorbike trip, nomad lifestyle bullshit. Whether it's the right thing to do, because the fact is it's not easy. This life definitely wasn't made for everyone. Anyway, another day in Dublin. Not where I planned to be, but do you know what? It's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
See the stone set in your eyes, see the thorn twist in your side. I'll wait for you.
What is the cost of freedom? What do you have to sacrifice for a life on the road? To swing a leg over an engine and two wheels and ride away from security, from comfort, from loved ones.
Without you.
Turns out quite a lot. I've talked to some other adventure bike riders about this, both men and women, and they've had similar experiences, but of course this isn't universal. This is, it's just my take on my experience. It's just a YouTube video, don't take it too seriously. But yeah, my experience, well, 3 months ago, at the start of January, just after New Year's, I get a call from my girlfriend saying that the past 6 years have come to an end and it's time to go our separate ways. So obviously that was a bit of a blow, but luckily I'm fairly philosophical about these things. So once the shock had worn off, I was able to get myself back on track fairly quickly. The immediate result was, of course, that I wouldn't be going back to Spain, which was the plan. Spend the winter there, shoot more of the Andalucía by motorbike series, and just in general prepare for the next stage of the trip. Now all of that was impossible, and instead of being in Cordoba, for the first time since leaving in 2020, I found myself here.
Back in Dublin. But like I say, it's not too bad. Turns out being single in your 20s, particularly when you're a decent looking guy with, shall we say, an unconventional lifestyle, it's actually pretty fun. Hence the procrastination. Of course, the flip side to all this fun is I've had to let go of not just a person whom I love, but a place too. A home I didn't get to say goodbye to. I feel like an exiled knight away on campaign in some frozen northern land who finds out in his absence that his realm's been overthrown and he can never return home. So he lies awake every night, looking up at the stars on the edge of a grey sea, by the black tongue of the water's edge, dreaming of warm rolling hills and jasmine evenings. I know, I romanticize, but you kind of have to. Living in Dublin, you have to be a bit of a romantic. It's cold here, it's small, it's ridiculously expensive, it's comically miserable as a result of the homelessness crisis, the cost of living and the housing shortage. Anyone who's watched the channel for a while will know that I'm not apolitical. It's not something I make a big thing out of, but it's there. It's not something I try to hide, even though it hurts my view numbers. And one good thing about being back in Dublin and this country in general is that there's absolutely no ambiguity about the general public's condemnation of Israel's genocide of the Palestinian people. We've made that abundantly clear. Some of you may have noticed the old website, the original unOrdinaryWorld website, is offline. It's gone. That website had been hosted by Wix, which is of course Israeli, and not just Israeli, but is actively supportive of the regime and of the genocide. In fact, they sacked some Dublin staff who refused to toe the line of supporting the company mandate of, supporting the regime and the genocide. So yeah, it was definitely time to say goodbye to them. Unfortunately, that means all the old blog posts are gone, and it will be a while, I'm afraid, before there are any more written posts. Writing takes a lot out of me, both energy and emotionally wise. It's quite draining, and of course this wasn't part of the plan. I'd intended to spend the last couple of weeks writing up the Through the Visor series, particularly the parts that I didn't film, such as the 10 days I spent in Athens with Marina, going around the different neighbourhoods. I wanted to write about the socio-political vibes there, but it's going to be some time before I can revisit the past in that way. Which brings me on to the crux of the matter, the main thing I want to talk about today, about how this life isn't actually for everyone, and the future of the project and the future for my travel plans. But first, let's spin into the mountains, because they are looking tasty. Oh!
Shout, she cried, if the city is dust in your eyes. Phone, she pleads, if that city's too full, all those street traffic signs. In the cafe on the corner she's sitting, expecting him to show, while in her heart she knows he has to go. The other night she captured all his attention, but now as planes fly by, he turns his face from her and stares at the sky.
Oh, what an evening. Another thing I love about Dublin is that you're never far from the edge of it. On the one side you've got sea, on the other side you've got mountains. It only takes half an hour to find yourself on the edge of either. Let's go, babe, let's go!
He knows their long weekends through. Right, she says, if you need a friend along the way, come back sometime. I've no reason to leave, you know that I'll stay.
The thing with not being able to see so far ahead on this road we're all on is that at some point you'll inevitably find yourself in the middle of a blind corner, going in too deep and too fast. And at that point, it doesn't matter that you didn't see it coming, it doesn't matter what came before or what might come after. All that matters is that you make it through this corner. And to do that, you've got to get your knee down. Even if you've never done it before, even if you're scared shitless, you've got to focus on your exit. Lean into that corner like you've never leaned before. Feel every terrifying bump and shudder as the suspension jitters, as the tires gasp for grip. You've got to go against all your fears and instinct for self-preservation and ride like your life depends on it, because it does. And even if you spill out, what's the alternative? Grab a load of brake and high side, freeze, and run off the road entirely? The past 3 months for me have been one of those corners. Luckily, as riders, we know what to do in these situations. Everything else ceases to matter. It's just you, your means, your focus, and your determination. And you know what? In the middle of all the fear and uncertainty, when you're in the middle of that bend feeling more alive than you have in God knows how long, you might even find the thrill in it. And you'll come out of it feeling stronger, faster, more in tune with yourself and your machine, and the road than you ever were before. My life at the moment is one of uncertainty. Without going too deeply into it, that's one of the reasons why my relationship fell apart. The uncertainty. Because of the constant coming and going and apparent aimlessness that life as an adventure rider entails. And that's not something I look for. That's not something I enjoy. I don't like all the goodbyes, the constant ambiguity from day to day, from month to month, ambiguity about the future, about money, about when I'm going to shower next, about where I'm going to sleep tonight. I don't like it. But I do it because, without trying to sound all heroic or anything, that's just what you sacrifice for this lifestyle. A lifestyle that, for those of us who crave it, is how we ultimately find fulfillment. We have to do it, unconventional as it is. But the reality is that it doesn't suit everyone. And I don't just mean to the person who might necessarily choose this lifestyle. I mean how that choice affects the other people in your life. And maybe that's why most of us adventure riders do it alone. Even if we don't want to. Maybe that's the real cost of freedom. To be truly free. No strings anywhere means having nobody to get your strings all tangled up with. And that's hard, particularly if you're like me and you love getting your strings all tangled up with someone else. It's lonely. And for the first time, I've been learning to not necessarily be alone, but the feeling of being alone in this world. I think there is a difference. Before, when I was curled up in my sleeping bag on top of a mountain somewhere, wind and rain bashing the side of the tent, I felt very alone, sure. But not alone in this world, because I knew I was part of something bigger. There was a person out there whom I was connected to beyond all concept of distance and time. And that's where I drew strength and comfort from. But now I'm having to find that strength and comfort in myself. And honestly, I'm still scared. I'm scared that I'll crave that next time I'm truly alone up there in a mountain. But I'm still going to do it. Gotta lean into that corner. Gotta trust. But that's me. That's us, as travelers, overlanders, whatever. Even as bikers. Most people don't ride motorbikes, it's dangerous. But we do it anyway. It's a way of life. But then we can't go about being surprised when other people say no. That's not for me. I can't share this with you. Or, one further, I can't share this life with you. It's just not compatible with the way I want to live. Because the fact is, this way of life, it's not for everyone. Even those you might love. And then, when you come to that realization, then what do you do? Then what do you do?
How I wanted to. When you ride into the night without a trace behind, run your claw along my gut one last time. I turn to face an empty space where you used to lie, and look for the spark that lights the night through a teardrop in my eye. Ride on, see, I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see, I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
do? Well, the only thing you can do, I guess, you keep going. God, it's cold. I used to come up here sometimes with Rena, sometimes on my own. Come up right out of the city, get a drink here, watch the sunset. And here I am. Nothing changes. Nothing stays quite the same. Dublin. This wasn't the plan. But soon it'll be time to head back out there. Time to do all the goodbyes. Same old, but not exactly. This time it's going to be different, and I'm not quite sure what to expect. But do you ever? You can never see so far ahead and all that. And that's what it is to accept it. For those of us that choose to do it, speaking to the choir, yeah, that's the road. And that's what it is to ride it, I guess. And ride it. Really ride it. Really fucking ride it, because that's all there is. That's all there is. I'll see you on the road.
Through the storm, we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for